CelJaded back here with more TEW 2020, this time for Monday, week 2 of March 2006 on the Shifting Sands mod. Another episode of Monday Night Raw here, and we are well on our way to WrestleMania 22. Big pay-per-view, of course. The supercard itself will be coming up in week 1 of April 2006. We have a lot of stories to build before we get there, and as you might expect, this is the one we are starting with on this occasion, Jerry Lawler and Hulk Hogan. Of course, one of the biggest surprises from the previous episode of Raw, Jerry Lawler turns heel on the immortal Hulk Hogan in an attempt to get himself a match at WrestleMania by any means necessary. We thought Jerry Lawler was going to take a shot at Vince last week, but he changed his mind and took a shot at Hulk Hogan instead. Jerry Lawler, ladies and gentlemen, has turned heel. This is his thinking, because he wants to get to WrestleMania. He will do it over Hogan's dead body if he has to. So Jerry Lawler talking about Hulk Hogan here in this opening promo, where both of them are kind of in the ring at the same time here. Hulk Hogan just wants to know why Jerry Lawler would do such a thing. More hurt. His pride is more hurt than his head is after the beating Jerry Lawler gave him, which is good, I suppose. But Jerry Lawler calls Hulk Hogan a spotlight-stealing hypocrite here, because Jerry Lawler wanted to get to WrestleMania, and Hulk Hogan just had to worm his way in, didn't he? Really. If we really look at the facts here, Hulk Hogan saw an opportunity to take the spotlight for himself in the tag match that they both had. He kind of took over, dominated the match, didn't even give Jerry a look in. That's the perception anyway. You know how Jerry's going to be seeing the world under this new character. And Lawler says to Hulk Hogan here, who is kind of asking that question, like, why, Lawler? Getting to WrestleMania can't mean this much that you would think of turning on me. And Lawler just says to Hulk here that you have no idea how far I'll go to make this happen. So Jerry Lawler here not backing down, and the challenge has been made for WrestleMania. We can only assume that it is challenge accepted, but Hulk Hogan here doesn't really care about that. He doesn't really care about WrestleMania. He just wants to know why Jerry Lawler would sell himself out like this. This is what hurts to Hulk. Hulk's been to WrestleMania so many times. It's not a big deal to him. But the fact that Jerry Lawler would compromise his character so deeply in this way, good old smiling babyface Hulk Hogan just can't understand it, can he? So we'll definitely have more from these two later, but for now they part ways as enemies. Jerry Lawler has made his case, and before the night is out, he says he will have an answer from Hulk Hogan on this challenge at WrestleMania. A huge grudge match that would be if it comes to pass. But before we get there, of course, we've got more programs to build. And here we have Mick Foley doing a superb job, I might add. Great segment here from him. Mick Foley warning the Sandman about facing Umaga tonight. That is a match that is coming up next. The Sandman, Mick Foley, of course, former ECW talent that are embroiled in this campaign that Umaga and his manager, Estrada, have been waging against former ECW talent. Why? Why does Umaga even need a reason? This guy is a lunatic, and he has been beating the living hell of anyone even closely tied to ECW since this save began. And the Sandman here is just the latest in a long string of challenges standing up to Umaga's brutal rampage. So we can probably guess how it's going to go, but nevertheless, it is Sandman and Umaga up next. And yes, as you could probably guess, this goes the same as it always goes, with Umaga rampaging through the Sandman in record time. So very transparent booking once again, just a long line of baby faces to feed our monster Umaga, who is definitely not slowing down in the face of any challenges at the moment. So Umaga, of course, after the match, going for his trademark beatdown. He's not finished with the Sandman yet. He wants to put the boots to him a little more, and that's when Foley and his ECW brothers, on this occasion we've got Nova and Tommy Dreamer there, just coming in to make the save. So Fairly kind of routine stuff here, and really just the opportunity to get Sandman in the ring there and transfer some heat where we need it most onto our Samoan Savage, Umaga. But Umaga here has made a statement once again at the expense of the ECW alumni, and Mick Foley here with his brothers. Definitely not looking happy about this development. But, that's Umaga for you. And next, we are back with Jerry Lawler here, who is cutting a classic backstage promo in the sense that he's really getting back in touch with his roots as the King, Jerry Lawler, and kind of doing a classic heel promo here backstage, expanding on some of the points that he started making in the opening segment with Hulk Hogan, of course. This promo, you can bet, is at Hulk Hogan's expense. But before we get much further with this, before we can really touch on the topic of Hulk Hogan, I suppose I should say, we have an arrival from the Rated R superstar Edge. Of course, himself is involved in a bitter feud with John Cena at the moment that we're all very well aware of. And Edge here says that he's got an offer that the King, Jerry Lawler, can't refuse. So Jerry Lawler looking intrigued by this. Lita, of course, is probably by Edge's side as we kind of go into this segment. But Jerry Lawler has a plan. Edge has a plan for Jerry Lawler, and Jerry Lawler is willing to hear Edge out, and a great segment from these two, as you could expect. Edge, of course, just cannot be stopped on the save at the moment, so it's continuing to see great stuff from him. Really, really good stuff. And then moving on, we have got a wide shot here of the entire women's locker room, or as many as we can pack into this scene at least. And the women's locker room, it goes quiet when Trish Stratus enters the scene, and Mickie James is the one kind of off to the side here who kind of triggers a brawl by defending Trish, because Trish, of course, has kind of in recent weeks really let down the women's locker room. That's the perception anyway, with her various antics in and outside of the ring. And Mickie James, of course, has always been the pot stirrer there, and this is just another example where Mickie James comes straight to Trish Stratus' defense, starts pushing some women around, and then a shot flies, and then before you know it, the whole locker room is in chaos here, where Trish Stratus is caught in the middle once again of a lot of drama in the women's division. So chaos here in the women's locker room. No thanks, of course, to Mickie James. As always, you can always count on her for some drama. And speaking of drama, we are here now with Triple H, who is not just talking with CM Punk this time, he is offering Punk something, and he is offering CM Punk an alliance. Triple H, at last, is showing his cards. It has been a build for quite a while to this moment, and Triple H saying to CM Punk, look, I see something really special in you, kid. Why don't you join it with me, and I'll make it happen for you. So Triple H staking his claim here and making clear what his intentions are to CM Punk. And CM Punk intrigued, but says that he'll think about it. So CM Punk has a decision to make, as Triple H has offered to take him on as a protege, one would assume. But that's the situation. Triple H and CM Punk, again, seen in the same segment. And as kind of CM Punk walks away from this scene, look who he walks into. It is Rob Van Dam, who is kind of on his way to the ring for his match against Gregory Helms next. But RVD crosses paths with Punk and tells CM Punk that he should be careful about siding with Triple H. So RVD kind of overheard what was going on as he walked past, has run into Punk here, and kind of giving the youngster a warning that Triple H is not the kind of guy you want to hang around with and do business with. But CM Punk, once again, still has heat with RVD after losing to him at the Royal Rumble in that big debut match. And Punk, waves RVD off here. Still not interested in talking to our boy Rob. So, nevertheless, Rob Van Dam, even though he's unsuccessful here against CM Punk, he has a chance to be successful in the match that he will be wrestling next against Gregory Helms. So let's get to it. All right, decent rating for these two. And there you have it. So Rob Van Dam beats Gregory Helms by disqualification. And you can probably imagine Probably guess, I should say, why that is, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But overall, good segment here, and yes, we've got ourselves a positive chemistry notice on this one, which, isn't that juicy? So yeah, we might have to do something with these two again, but for the moment, you're just getting the tease because it's a good match, but it is one that is ending in controversial manner here. As we head to the next segment, you know exactly what's happened, folks. Ric Flair, he can't contain himself. He has hit the ring. He is attacking Helms. He's drawing the DQ. Rob Van Dam shaking his head at this. And it is Francine, of course, Helms' manager, who's having to step in here and kind of imploring her old buddy, Rob Van Dam, to help keep Helms and Flair apart. So another chaotic scene here between Gregory Helms and Ric Flair. A right scene with these two going at each other, and Rob Van Dam, as we said, kind of shaking his head, having to pull these two men off each other and kind of let cooler heads prevail. So Gregory Helms pointing at Flair, saying that he started it. Anyway, so there you have it, and no doubt we'll see these lot again soon. But a good match and a good segment here from everyone involved. Love to see it on Monday Night Raw, and the show continues here, and it is John Cena now backstage fighting off Edge when Jerry Lawler sneak attacks Cena from behind, and then Hulk Hogan comes in for the save. So huge development here in this segment. So as we can see, Edge and Jerry Lawler, they were talking earlier. They're in cahoots now. And Jerry Lawler has just gone irredeemably full heel now by attacking the world's biggest babyface, or at least Raw's biggest babyface, I should say, in John Cena, joining the Rated R superstar here. And it is Hulk Hogan having to step in and save John Cena from this beatdown. So John Cena kind of hurt here by Edge and Jerry Lawler. Cena, of course, so desperate to get that WWE Championship out of Edge's grasp, and Edge doing everything he can, even partnering with the hot new heel Lawler to kind of inhibit Cena's efforts. So more to come from these four, but a great segment here on Raw. Love to see that as well. So we are now back with Booker T and Shawn Michaels. This developing program here, just as hot, we should say. And just look at this segment rating here. Booker T now with the hot catchphrase. He's got Sharmell by his side, improvising well. And terrific effort here from both men as HBK disrupts Booker T's interview. Booker T here giving an extended kind of interview about his beef with Shawn Michaels, saying that Booker T wants to be the new Mr. WrestleMania, and maybe he already will be by the time we get to WrestleMania 2 coming up, WrestleMania 22 coming up very soon. And Shawn Michaels, taking exception to this, storms the interview room, and before you know it, these two are fighting their way to the ring, where it looks like we're going to have a match on our hands. So once again, Booker T and Shawn Michaels. And it was only meant to be a short one, and you can see why. But wow, folks, look at that. Booker T has actually put in a stronger in-ring performance on this occasion than even Shawn Michaels did. So absolutely tremendous stuff. Booker T here exceeding the level of his opponent, and we got a great segment rating out of this one. Love to see it. So Shawn Michaels does get the win here over Booker T, but it is because Booker T, he took a powder and just got himself counted out. He thought, you know what? I've already got 2 pins over this guy. What does another win matter? Booker T has just walked out and left everyone hanging to a shower of boos there. HBK still in the ring. And as we close out the segment, it is Shawn Michaels now angrily beckoning Booker T back to the ring, but Booker just leaves him hanging. So Booker T walks off with Sharmell, of course, and Michaels, he got himself just a little piece of Booker T there. And yeah, fair enough, he got the win, but come on, a count out? Really? Is that how we're going to play this, Booker? It appears that we are. So Booker T, a great segment from both guys here. As we said, Booker T's got all the bonuses going for him at the moment. You can see them here as we switch over. Just the amount of positive stuff that's working in our favor on this program. So this one has really, really exceeded expectations since we started it. But there's more to come, folks. So keep your eye on this one between Shawn Michaels and Booker T when we see them next time on Raw. And then we've got Vince McMahon here, who's kind of taking care of some business backstage. And look who he runs into. Yep, it's old Terry once again, Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan face to face here. And Hogan kind of looking at Vince McMahon, and Vince kind of nods. He knows exactly what Hulk Hogan is here for. And Vince agrees. Okay, you and Cena, I'll put you together in a tag team tonight where you will face Edge and Lawler in tonight's main event. So Vince McMahon throwing Terry a bone here, but let's face it, folks, he's a businessman. Even though he's a heel, he knows what's going to sell. This crowd wants to see John Cena and Hulk Hogan team up against Edge and Jerry Lawler, and that is what you'll be seeing later tonight in our main event on Monday Night Raw. And we are back with the women's division here. Great stuff. It is Victoria now with her crew, Ivory and Jazz. And they're kind of cornering Trish here in the back and telling Trish, after that little stunt that you just pulled earlier, inciting the locker room. I'm pretty sure that was Mickie James who did that, but nonetheless, Trish is getting the blame for it again. And Victoria's telling Trish that she needs to find some friends. Because Victoria's whole crew here wants a piece of Trish next week. So Victoria, Ivory and Jazz, they all want to be in the ring with Trish. So they are telling Trish there will be a 6-woman tag team match next week. So you better find some allies because we are coming for you. So Trish Stratus here, definitely between a rock and a hard place, staring down 3 women at once now. 3 challengers at once. That's a tall order even for the WWE Women's Champion. So Trish now, the challenge has been made and she needs to figure out what she is going to do. And she needs to figure it out damn quick because those 7 days until our next episode of Raw will be over before you know it. Oh, wow. And here we go. Another huge segment rating here. We're really putting the gas to the Lawler and Edge programs that we've got here on Raw. So Edge here is instructing a couple of allies he's found in Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch about his plans for tonight. And that's when Jerry Lawler kind of walks by here and reminds Edge what his goal is. So Jerry Lawler doesn't care about Cade and Murdoch. He doesn't care about John Cena. He doesn't care about championships or titles or anything like that. He cares about getting to WrestleMania. And now that they have a tag team match together in tonight's main event, that's just one more step towards that goal for Lawler. So he doesn't care what Edge has got up his sleeve and what kind of plans he wants to make. I mean, it's all fine with Lawler as long as it doesn't interfere in Jerry's plans. But Edge here kind of making the point, said, relax, Jerry, don't you worry. I just need the king by my side. And we've got a little bit of insurance here to make sure things don't get out of hand, let's say, in the main event. So I'm not sure about that, but Edge looks confident. And Jerry Lawler looks determined. And Lita, of course, will be by their side as we get ever closer now to that main event tag match. But before we get there, we've got one last segment. And here he is, John Cena, exiting the trainer's room now, absolutely furious about the attack that he sustained from Edge and Jerry Lawler earlier. And Cena's been taped up in the trainer's room. It was fortunate the injury wasn't much worse. And of course, the reason why is standing right there, waiting for Cena to exit that room. And it is Hogan now telling John Cena, let's tear up some ass, brother. So let's get to it then. This is the match. John Cena and Hulk Hogan tagging together. Wow. How do you like that? Against Edge and Jerry Lawler in what hopes to be a very hot main event. And there it is, folks. In a bout that had fantastic heat and good wrestling. Can't ask for much more than that. It is Hulk Hogan and John Cena going to a draw with Edge and Jerry Lawler following a double disqualification. I'm sorry, folks. There is no way that I was going to give you a winner and a loser in this match. It just wasn't going to happen. But we got plenty of chaotic brawling and plenty of good stuff going on in this match nonetheless, overbooked as it may be. And hey, what do you know? Look at that. Edge and Jerry Lawler with a positive chemistry notice as a tag team there. Excellent chemistry, one might add. So yeah, even though Lawler is a little bit behind the curve in terms of in-ring performance on this occasion, he's one of the older performers. He has to contend with the penalties for declining physical ability, just as Hulk does. But nonetheless, a good segment here, good stuff from all four men, exactly what we wanted, a hot main event here to finish off Raw. But we're not quite done, folks, are we? Because you probably guess what's happening next. Well, if you'd guessed that Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch were going to interfere and cause a beatdown after the match, you would have been right. But bonus points if you guessed that the babyfaces would have some backup. And here they are, because Kurt Angle and Shelton Benjamin rushing to Cena's aid as Hogan chases Lawler to the back. So chaotic scene here as the match essentially just gets thrown out. We've got outside interference on all sides. The referee can't control this anymore. He is just ringing the bell. There will be no winner in this match. So it is going to a draw. But here it is. It is Shelton Benjamin and Kurt Angle, who we know have kind of had a little TV rivalry with Cade and Murdoch on previous episodes of Raw. And of course, they are coming to the aid of Cena, who Kurt Angle made a peace with fairly recently as well. So it's all tying together. Look at this. 3 stories all tying together. You've got the tag teams in the tag team division there vying for control. Hulk chasing Jerry Lawler to the back. He wants a piece of him. And Edge and John Cena, of course, toe-to-toe in the ring with Edge's allies kind of spreading out. But this is our scene here. As Raw is about to go off the air, we've got one last segment. And what a segment it is, because here comes Vince McMahon, and he has had it. Folks, this rivalry between Edge and John Cena has been tearing Raw apart for months now, and Vince has had enough. This will come to an end, and it will come to an end at WrestleMania, says Vince McMahon, because he is demanding order here. Security kind of breaking up the fight in the ring, kind of separating all of these men until we are just left with Edge and John Cena in the ring, being held back by security, by Vince's men, and Vince points to both of them, mic in hand, and says, "This is it. John Cena, you will face Edge in a no disqualification match in the main event of WrestleMania. There will be no interference. There will be no disqualification, no countouts, no chicanery. This time, you two men can do whatever the hell you want to each other, but at the end of that, we will have a definitive winner, and one of you will walk out of that show, of that huge pay-per-view, as WWE champion." There it is, folks. Your main event for WrestleMania, John Cena and Edge. As to be expected, of course. And as we go off the air there, another blue rating of 87. Absolutely fantastic. Thrilled once again to see this. And there it is, folks. What a great, great episode of Raw that turned out to be. Of course, we leaned very heavily on our upper carders there. Cena and Edge, of course, always doing good work. But hey, got to tell you, Booker T, great stuff from him. Shawn Michaels, excellent as always, of course. Rob Van Dam, Gregory Helms there with a good match for the undercard. And our women's division as well, supporting things very nicely here. So just look at the ratings there. All really good stuff. Another great episode of Raw on our build, as we build towards that supercard WrestleMania. Things really starting to heat up here, and you can see at last the fruits of our labours are paying off, as that's 2 blue ratings in a row now for Raw. So a tremendous effort from everyone involved. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Monday, week 2 of March 2006. When we come back for the next episode, it will be following up for SmackDown, or the SmackDown brand, on this week as well. But until then, have a good time, take it easy, and I will see you